Hey guys, welcome back to Butlers Customs. In this video, I am building a 1977 Suzuki GS400 bobber. So this bike is naturally stock standard, cafe racer sort of style. I think the guy's done a few little mods to it. We're gonna go pick this thing up, bring it home, chop it up, get creative and see what I can come up with. This bike will be for sale at the end of the build, so if you're interested, shoot me an email, liam@butlerscustoms.com.au, and then we can have a chat about it. It'll have 12 months rego and so on. Next thing, I want to quickly say thank you to everyone that has liked and subscribed and supported our business. We've been in business now for 10 years this year, and every little bit of support means the world to me, so thank you again from the bottom of my heart. These are all legends. So if you haven't liked and subscribed, don't forget to do so, because the more subscribers we have, the more of these videos I can pump out and the better these videos will get. Let's get into it. Let's chop this bike up and turn it into something rad, and I hope you like it at the end of the build. Let's go, guys. Woo! Alright guys, here she is, the newest project. So all these personal projects of mine that I'm going to build and sell are just private sales. They're not through the business, they're just something I'm doing for a bit of fun. But this is the next one. So it's going to be a bobber. So I've got a new tank on the way. I'm not going to get overly carried away, but in saying that, it's not going to look like this when I'm finished. So this is it. It's a 1977 Suzuki GS400. This thing revs like a champion. I just rode it then and it is friggin' awesome. So it is now time to get it in the shed and let's get this thing stripped down, and I'll start designing and see what I can come up with. Let's do it. Now the tank is off and the seat is off, I can see what I'm working with, and unfortunately I'm disappointed it's got the frame that I was hoping it didn't have. Having these two down tubes instead of one single one makes it really hard to put a peanut tank on it, obviously, so I was hoping I didn't have to do this, but this thing's getting engineered anyway, so it is what it is. I'm going to have to cut this section here out and take these two down tubes and this cross one off. I'm going to have to cut this and extend it all the way down to here, running another cross tube through here, and then gusset the front end and strengthen that right up. So it is what it is. I was hoping I didn't have to do that, but shit happens. So another modification that I'll do, that front fender's going to go, the exhaust, or probably just the mufflers are going to go, and I'll extend them. I've got a new rim for the back, which you'll see, and shocks, etc. So I'm going to start ripping it apart, take this front handlebars off because that's going to change, and take all the shit off that I don't need. And then we're going to hang this thing from the roof and take the wheels off and build new wheels. So let's carry on. Rightio, the frame is chopped out now, so this section's gone. This one's going to run down to this cross member, which I've got welded in here. So that'll come down, join onto this one. Then these ones will get cut off and plated and moved all together. Then this cross member here is going to go, and then this section here is going to come up and join up into here and then be gusseted. So that's sorted, back end's now cut off. So I don't know whether or not I want to hardtail this or just go a lower rear spring. I think because I'm selling it, I'm going to go a lower rear spring because not everyone likes hardtails. So yeah, we'll see how I go, but I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do. So now I've got to get these wheels taken off so I can put new spokes on the front and then change that 18-inch rear rim to a 16-inch rear rim. So we'll get those wheels off now and then we'll carry on. Alright, so I've got my down tube fit up now. I got my slug on the inside, which comes up to about here and here, and then I'm going to plug weld it and then weld through the center here, weld this up, weld that up. Then I can cut these tubes out and then make my gusset for the underside. So time to start welding. So I'm getting there, almost got these scratch marks out, and then she'll be sweet. But I've just got to go a few more grades to get rid of those buffing marks out, and then she'll be sweet. I've just picked up the new tyre that's been fit up. So I tried to fit the 500 16-inch tyre that I'd purchased originally, which was a Shinko, and it's an old school sort of Firestone style tyre. But the issue with that, the sidewall on those old tyres being a 500 are really, really wide. And being so wide, it wouldn't fit inside the swing arm. It was rubbing against the swing arm, and then my other issue was the side wall of the tyre was so big that the chain was pressing against it. So I tried to step out the sprocket a little bit, but I could only go so much before the sprocket comes off. Its housing, basically, it's got a little recess that it sits onto. So I ended up just deciding the safest way to do this, as much as it sucks, is just to get a standard style tyre, like a more modern tread. And it sucks because it takes away from the look of the bike, but everything else on this bike's going to be pretty rad, so hopefully that'll take the attention away from it having a modern tread rear tyre. But now, having that modern rear tyre, it doesn't have a wide sidewall, it's thinner, which means the chain's not going to rub, and also it's not going to hit on the swing arm. As you know, I was going to probably change this to a rigid, but I'm thinking that I'm going to leave it as a suspension rear end, just for the simple fact that I'm selling it, and very few people are going to want a rigid. I think it's going to be harder to sell as a rigid, so it's going to leave it as springs, and if someone buys it and wants me to change it to a rigid, I can do that at their expense, obviously. But for now, springs it is, new tyre. So let's get home, let's get this tyre fit up, make sure everything fits correctly, and if that's sweet, then I can carry on smashing this bike back together, making fenders, making seats, all that sort of stuff. So let's get home, let's get the tyre on, and we'll go from there. Rightio, the wheel is back on and it fits, thank God. So let's have a look over here. I've got room now down, it's hard to see here, but I've got room down the side of the swing arm. It's only just fits in there, but we're good. It's going to be enough clearance. Chain's not rubbing. So as you can see, modern tread, old school tread. So I may end up changing out the front tyre, but we'll see how it looks once it's all back together. This 500 is what I was planning on putting on the back, but you can see here how big the sidewall is on it compared to this one. These ones sort of tuck in, so it's giving me that little bit more clearance. So I would prefer that this bike rides nice and there's no dramas and everyone's safe, instead of putting on the 500 and having clearance issues and potential danger when someone's riding. So let's get back into it and carry on getting this frame modified and seat done and a ton of other things. But yeah, I'm stoked. Wheel fits, so on to the next stage. I've got these shocks off and got this back end down lower. And I said I wasn't going to change it to a rigid, but it just looks absolutely shithouse with the shocks on it. So as much as I don't have time or want to change it to a rigid, I'm doing it because it's going to look better. And I just don't like the look of the shocks on there and the shape of the frame here. It just looks weird. So I'm restricting myself to who's going to buy this bike, being a rigid, but it is what it is. It doesn't sell, I'll keep the fucking thing. But anyway, yeah, it's time to start chopping this thing up and yeah, turn it into rigid. That's just going to be 10 times cooler looking. So yeah, let's do it. Starting to come together now. Alright guys, I'm smashing through it and I'm getting it done. I'm getting really close. So as you can see, rear fender's made now. And I've done a really short sissy bar because it's such a small bike. I didn't want the sissy bar to look, I guess, too heavy in the back end with height wise compared to the front. So, and I've made up a front fender. So that's sorted now. I've just got to make the side mounting brackets and then paint it. Engine's back in the frame, as you can see. I've got to mount the headlight. Carbies have been fully cleaned out with new jets, and I've just got to extend that exhaust. Seat's ready to go back on. So basically I've just got to paint these fenders, get the fenders painted up, wire this thing up, mount the headlight, and I'm pretty much good to go, I think. There's a couple of little things there that I got to do, but we'll time lapse the rest of it and then we'll get back to you at the end when this thing is ready to start and test ride. Back into it. See you at the end. So fender's done. I've now got to obviously grind it back and prep it and get it ready for paint, but that is good to go. So we'll get that bolted on and then let's get back to it. little bits of dust in here that I've got to chop out once it's dry, but almost ready to go back on. All right, guys, it is that time. It is the first startup. So cross your fingers I've wired this thing up correctly, because I have. And yeah, let's see how we go. Carbies have been stripped and cleaned. So before, this thing didn't want to start straight away. You'd be winding it for ages because the choke had issues. So hopefully I've got that sorted. And as I said, I've rewired the whole bike. There's shitloads of wire been taken out of this, probably 600 mil of wire from both ends to make it nice and tidy. So you can see on the back here now, all my wires are run along here and up nice and neat. Cross your fingers, guys. Hope it starts. All right, so as you saw, it runs, started first go. I'm absolutely stoked. So as I said, I cut all that wiring out, so sometimes, you know, you can miss something, but luckily we didn't. So I've just got to tidy up this front wiring now and get it back together. Now I know that it starts and runs, but I've got all the lights on the back end working the same on the front. So we're pretty much at the stage now, once that wiring goes back and tucks in behind the headlight, it's test ride time. So we'll get that done, and then we're going to take this thing for a test ride and see how she runs. Alright guys, what did you think? Did you like it? Did it turn out good? Leave a comment below, let me know what you think of it. Thanks to everyone for watching, it means the world to me. As I said at the beginning of the video, we made a few changes along the way. As you saw, we're going to go shocks on the rear end, and I changed it to a rigid and created more work for myself as I do, but whatever. I wanted to see what it looked like, and I think it looks sick. It rides amazing with a sprung seat. So as I said, this bike's for sale. 7.5 grand, maybe a little bit negotiable if you're genuine. So shoot me an email, liam@butlerscustoms.com.au. And check out our Instagram page, Facebook, all of that. And I've also got another business called Good Rack, which is a skateboard rack company. So check that out on Instagram as well, _Good Rack _ and support that as well, because that's about to be a big thing, and we're launching a Kickstarter campaign for that very, very soon. So all the support with that one will help too, guys. But again, thank you for watching. Hope you like the build, and we've got some new videos coming up very soon of an AJS and a few other things. So check them out, check out our past videos, and we will see you next time. All the best, guys. Till then, take care.